when adding decimals, the only important rule is to line up the decimal points before you add, and then carry the decimal point down and add as normal. So with these two numbers, 5/10 and 1/10, it would make sense that when I add 5 of something and 1 of something, I will get 6 of that thing. So 0.5 plus 0.1, line up the decimal points and move it down into your answer. 5 plus 1 is 6, 0 plus 0 is 0, 5/10 plus 1/10 is 6/10. Over here, I have 2 and 7/10 plus 3 and 2/10, and we will use the same logic. We're going to line the numbers up according to their decimal points, and the decimal point will drop straight down into our answer. 7 plus 2 is 9, 2 plus 3 is 5, so 2 and 7/10 plus 3 and 2/10 equals 5 and 9/10. Noticing here, we have a number 7 and 2/10, but we're adding it to a number 3 and 27/100 that goes out into the hundredths place. The best way to do this would be to stack the two numbers according to the decimal point, but I'm going to have to add a 0 in to make these numbers look like they're the same length. When you are adding, many students don't do this, but when we get to subtraction, it is a must. So I will always add a 0 whether I'm adding or subtracting so that I don't forget to do it when I'm subtracting. 0 plus 7, we will bring the decimal point down before I start. 0 plus 7 is 7, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 7 plus 3 is 10. So 7 and 2/10 plus 3 and 27/100 equals 10 and 47/100. Notice that 2/10 and 20/100 are the same thing. Those two fractions, 2/10 and 20/100, are equal. Over here, I'm going to follow the same logic, except this number doesn't even have a decimal point, so I'm going to have to add the decimal point after that number. This next number, 9 and 302 thousandths. When I add these, something looks off here. I need to include zeros. Just as many zeros so that each addend, each number I am adding, has the same number of decimal places as the other. Now I'll just add as normal. 0 plus 2 is, bring my decimal down. 0 plus 2 is 2, 0, 3. Notice how this is the only number with the decimal, so the decimal will just carry through. Please go through the process of putting the zeros anyway so we don't make mistakes with subtraction. 9 plus 2 is 11, so I'm going to need to carry a 1. 7 plus that 1 is 8, and then 3 will just carry down. So 372 plus 9 and 302 thousandths equals 381 and 302 thousandths. We have the same idea over here where we have one number that has 3 decimal places and another that has 4, so we will have to add a decimal place. Some people prefer, like we did here, to have the larger number on top, so I can write 289.3887, line up the decimal point, 43,097. And before I add these, I'm going to add another 0 here, so each of my addends has 4 digits, the same number of digits to the right of the decimal point. I'll bring my decimal point down and then add as normal. 7 plus 0 is 7. 8 plus 7 is 15, so I need to carry. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 8 is 18. 3 plus 1 is 4. 9 plus 3 is 12. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So 43 and 97 thousandths plus 289 and 3,887 ten thousandths equals 332 and 4,857 ten thousandths.